Fanons, my face is back. In the Dory story, I touched a little on what it was like for me growing up with face blindness. Today, however, I'm going to broaden the topic to all children with this disorder. For instance, what effect does it have on their personality or self-esteem? Can it complicate relationships that would otherwise be straightforward? What strategies might children use to identify their friends and loved ones? Prosopagnosia has an effect on an individual's self-esteem and personality, and usually not for the better. This is especially true for children. I mean, how can you learn self-confidence if you are constantly misidentifying strangers as friends and friends as strangers? It's for this reason parents often report their child having difficulty making friends. Potential friends will only try to reach out so many times before they decide you are no longer worth their time. It also makes sense that for the few friends children do make would be with the people who stick out. The only redheaded kid, the only Asian kid, the only fat kid. You get the idea. Even children who are generally outgoing can be mistaken for an introvert. My own mother described me as a wallflower because I would hang back and watch children play for several minutes before I was able to identify friends and join. And to be honest, I still do this. But, with a room full of adults, not anything creepy. Awareness regarding children is especially important because many parents report their kids don't recognize the disorder themselves until high school. I think it's because what I call their world bubble is so small that the proso kid doesn't realize how it affects every aspect of their life. As kids mature and their world bubble gets bigger, they start to pick up on inconsistencies between their lives and others, especially regarding the size of friend groups. Despite this, proso kids are still affected by their disorder in a way that is usually only obvious to the parents. In the case of my dad, he suggested I try to remember a distinct feature about others. That worked in theory, but my perception would change the next time I saw them. So for instance, I'd remember that guy had a nose that's so big, but that guy's nose is not quite as big, so it must not be him. But then it turns out it would be, and so it's ultimately useless. It can also be quite damaging and traumatizing. Teacher, somebody pulled my ponytail! Oh, that's awful! Can you tell me who? You shouldn't lie. Now that I think about it, that could account for the amount of bullying I experienced. As anyone who was ever a kid knows, the most important thing about school was to blend in, within reason of course. Children with face blindness can more or less hide their disorder because kids in general aren't very good at recognizing faces anyway. Growing up, however, their strategies become usually a bit more sophisticated, eventually falling into 3 distinct camps. The first is explaining inconsistent behavior. It's usually something like this. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Hey, sorry, not used to seeing you outside of work. Hi, I'm Dory. Oh, must have been thinking about something else. Hi. Oh, sorry, I was reading. Hey, you look different from the last time I saw you. Hi, I'm Dory. Sorry, I was in my own world just now. So I'm good with names, and I'm good with faces, I just can't put them together. Hi, I'm Dory. The second camp is regarding how social situations are approached. Naturally, the trouble comes with the possibility of running into an acquaintance. Some with the disorder are overly friendly to everyone, just in case, while others avoid social situations entirely. As you may imagine, there are pros and cons to both. The last strategy is trying to identify the person using cues other than their face. Things like facial expressions, hair color and style, a gray hair, not if I can help it,
voice or laugh,
gator-like gestures, accessories, to murder, clothing, style, fashion. What other things do you use to identify people? Please comment below, but don't say their face. Finally, we need to talk about proso ratings. Long story short, I've decided to live tweet my reactions to movies as I watch them for the first time. If I've seen them before, I'll do the review like normal. The brainchild of this idea stemmed from when I caught Schindler's List on TV. Here we have Stephanie in her natural habitat, foraging for food. She seems to have found some. With this success, she will be fed well for the week. But next week is grocery week, and anything could happen. Yes, it was all very exciting. Check out my tweets from that, and if you follow my Facebook page, I'll post when the live tweets are happening. The next one will probably be the first 3 episodes or so of Game of Thrones, courtesy of Holly Hand Grenade. Yeah, thanks for that. So that's it. Next video will be episode 5. Nobody likes episode 5, so we're going to throw in episode 6 as well, as it's much better. Check out my initials, SLC, TTFN, but don't actually go anywhere, okay? Or I'll get confused. only you can prevent forest fires.